Edith Finch. May I want to put up a trigger warning? I don't I don't know what the triggers are. Also, this isn't. Can you open this? She's not opening it. Open the book.
A lot of this
Thank you.
isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
All right. Well, we are playing What Remains of Edith Finch today.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Probably a good sign. Hey, Kat. Just got back from the bathroom. Oh, I love this game.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Can I grab them? Guess not.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Ooh. No trespassing. Too bad. I'm trespassing.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Her heart.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I don't know if I'm supposed to go down here. But I'm gonna go. Are you enjoying the frog ASMR?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Hey, Kat, could you, could you do me a favor and just, like...
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
I don't know, these frogs are loud. Kat, could you put any trigger warnings, like, in a post and then pin it? I don't know what the trigger warnings are, so and I didn't realize that this game had trigger, like... I really don't know the story or anything, so... Oh, I guess I went the right... Well, what was the other one? Maybe it's just an alternate way to get here? Thank you, Kat. Okay, I think this would have just... Is that a deer? Claude? What are you doing here? Buddy. Majestic. Okay, that's like a zoom. Don't know if I have a run.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Take both paths to the house. I got an achievement. Okay. Okay, spacebar doesn't do anything. Right mouse click also zooms. I don't think I have a run.
The house was
Wow.
exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Hello? Hey Wildcat, we're playing What Remains of Edith Finch today. Washington is where we are. I hear a lot of frogs, but I don't see any frogs.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
As a child, but now I'm a fully grown adult at 17. There's not quite a trigger list, so I'm reading through the warnings. I'm going to make my own. Hopefully that's okay. Oh, thanks, Kat. Sorry, that'll be totally fine. Knock. Can I go in the dog door? I have a key.
Prowling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Little swimming pool.
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years.
Okay, who do we have here? Eddie, Dawn, Lewis, well, he's dead. Milton, and Edith. That's me. January 2010.
I felt like I was home.
Found a Tumblr post someone made of all the triggers for each story. Should I say trigger warnings for What Remains of Edith Finch can be found here? Yeah, that's fine. That works. You can just pin it to the chat so that if anybody comes in, they can check that out if they want to. It's an old microwave.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Oh, I guess her name is Edie then? I was thinking Eddie. So Edie must be grandma. There's Lewis. There's Edith and Dawn. And who's the other one? Milton? In loving memory, Lewis Finch. Thanks, Kat. Ew, I hear flies. Apple pie recipe. Oh, something over here. Oh, there's something.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Molly. It's spoilers for each story, but there's no other way to go about it. Okay.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Why'd they just, like, leave all their crap here? A lot of cans.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Bugs. Barbara?
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Who's Barbara? There was no Barbara. Alright, see you later, Wildcat.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Oh. What the heck's in the basement? Corpses? Oh, we have a lift up the stairs. Viking's belly. I like the art of the books arranged.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
It looks like candy. I think it's supposed to be packing peanuts, but it looks like candy.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist,
Missing.
but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Okay, so Lewis died and Milton went missing? Where's the dad? He did it, probably. Can I sit in this? No.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
That's odd. Okay. There are so many books. The game definitely handles things in a mature way and not so much a shocking way, but I definitely cried a lot. Okay. Milton's story is actually in a different game. Oh, really? Called The Unfinished Swan, I believe. I never played it, but I want to. I didn't know that there was... Who is that? I didn't know there was another game connected to this one. I don't like all the bugs. That's... I have concerns about all the bugs. Hello?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Came out before this did, I think. Oh, really? Dang, someone's a good painter.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Who puts a padlock on a book? That's not like a diary.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Oh. What?
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Alright. I want this house, right? I mean, maybe
From the
not.
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Maybe not with all the attachments, right? Well.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Hey,
But I had
Trunks.
no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Wasn't Molly the cat?
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
I thought Molly was the cat.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Hmm. You want the house as long as it's reinforced. $1947. Molly. 1937 to 1947.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
So, I don't know if that indicates birth and death date. That would make her only 10. But I feel like maybe she was 10 when she died. Weird that they named the cat after her. Unless I misheard that. I'm assuming that Molly was the sister's, or like Edith's mother's sister. Okay, I will say that it doesn't always want to.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen.
What?
It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
I don't like where this is going. It's very creepy. I guess we're Molly now. Thanks, Kat. Yeah, we're playing What Remains of Edith Finch. Just beat the Golden Deer story on Hard in 3 Houses. Are you proud of me? I don't think you need my validation, but good job. Gerbil food.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh boy. Oh, she's so little. She's so little. That toothpaste? Am I supposed to pick something for her to eat? What are our options? Toothpaste? Holly? Isn't holly poisonous? The gerbil food? I don't know. Of all our options. Maybe that one?
Mom, can I come out now?
They locked her in?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Oh my god. At least she didn't eat the gerbil. Look, I don't know what to expect. Do I have to eat all the things? I feel like I might have to. I don't see anything else to interact with. Please don't deprive your kid of food as punishment. Seriously. And also, like, how often was this happening to where she actually had to resort to eating some of this stuff? Like, how long? All right.
I kept eating and eating.
Ew. Horrible.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Okay.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Okay.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Cat parkour.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her.
Get on the chair?
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Are we gonna eat the bird?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Oh no! Poor
I
bunny.
imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Ew.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
At first I thought maybe...
A mama rabbit.
At first I thought maybe she had died and like her spirit went into the cat. Or she became a cat.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay, well... I flop. I flop, I roll. I flop, I roll. Majestic. Okay, wasn't expecting a shark.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
After how dark that was very
hungrier
silly.
than ever.
But yeah, I thought the implication was that she died and then like was reborn as the cat that they named Molly, but now I don't know if it's just a hallucination. All of this.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Back here. I am Jaws. Pretty good.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted really good.
You took it as a kid's wild imagination, but also possibly tripping balls from eating the berries. Well, I can't imagine that that would be good for you. I think it's open to interpretation. Oh, I see the blood.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Oh, and the kraken. Okay, the tentacle. You assume it was a fever-induced dream from eating the poison berries. Slither. Just slither this way. Forward. I'm doing forward. It's like I get so far and then can't. But then I can like pull back. Like this is about as far as I can go. As far as I can go on this side. Oh, I have to click. So I have to left click and then I'll like shoot forward.
Now I was a monster and I smelled people everywhere.
Can I go under here? You did this with controller? That might have been easier. Sometimes when I'm trying to...
But I moved real quiet.
Sometimes when I'm trying to open the books and stuff, it like I really have to like move the mouse a lot to get it to. Oh. Okay. Well, he's fine. Probably. So I guess she's like writing this down.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
And Edith is reading this. We are the Kraken. This way? Oh, I missed the steps. Uh-oh. Okay. No, come back. Go up this way. No. Stop turning. Get in there.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Okay.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Are we back in the house?
I got closer and closer.
Okay, so we're back in her room. Something under the bed?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okay, so here's our family tree. So I guess Barbara was Molly's sister. And there's Calvin and Sam. Walter. Kay, who doesn't get much. So that means that the grandmother was Molly's mother? Close the book. Goodness. Well, the leaves must be the husband's? Oh, maybe. I don't know how to open that again.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Maybe that's why she, like, envisioned a Kraken, because she had this toy. I hear the cat. would not be standing on this.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
That's kind of weird, man.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Lurpy. Purpley. Is that Flurpy?
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
She needs to get better at naming. Thank goodness she didn't name her children that.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum.
Odin.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
In his house? Well, why'd you bring the house? You're trying to get rid of a curse. Don't take it with you.
40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Well.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Yeah, Brianne, so I think that the leaves are like the people who married into the family. So it's not just necessarily the husbands, it's basically just people who married in. So they had 5 kids. Ben and Edie did. Okay, close the book. Guess he wrote a book, Joining the Great Majority. Oh, he wrote this one too, The Mysteries of Death and Thereafter. So I guess it was Edie who did all the paintings on the walls and stuff. Lots of pills, oxygen. Mole Man?
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Hi, Dalton. Ooh, Edith Finch. Why am I sick of work? I'm sorry. Kat, do you remember how long this is? I didn't think it was super long. Built 1937. Okay.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Molly Concepts? What does that mean? Barbara Concepts. Unless she's talking about just sketches.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. It's easy to miss stuff. Most people don't complete the tree because they missed a person or two. Oh. Think they should have tried changing the name to confuse the curse. I mean, maybe they should have. I don't think they should have taken their cursed house with them.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
I mean, it is funnier to tell people he was killed by a dragon, but... Tragedy strikes.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Well, somehow she survived the curse. Norwegian folktales. I wonder if anything in this is inspired by Norwegian folktales. Okay,
Great-grandma had always been the family's biggest fan.
I'm assuming then that Calvin and Sam were twins. Molly was first, Barbara, then those two, and then Walter. Gregory. Right. I don't think I can go through here. You just looked up how Molly died. Looks like it was the toothpaste and holly berries. I mean, yeah. I assumed that she died from that. But I just wasn't sure if she was actually, like, hallucinating or if it was supposed to be kind of supernatural. Oh, what a... Oh, my goodness.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Oh, so that's who Kay is. This is an umbrage bathroom.
It was a pretty big trace.
Why didn't you ever get rid of those? Oh. You love it? I don't mind that it's pink. I just, this looks gross. This carpet. Also, why would you want your entire bathroom to be carpeted? Oh. There's a secret in the bathroom. That's a weird thing. It's a weird sentence.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez.
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Yeah, what? Who the crap is making all this stuff? I want a bunch of secret rooms in my house. Not because people died, though. Just for fun. Like a slide.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Calvin Finch. Milton. I guess he was here then. Fort Sam. Odin Finch National Park. So he was super into the military, I guess? I'm getting the impression that his twin died. Okay, so that's Calvin's side. They split. They put a rope between
I
them,
knew
I
Grandpa
guess.
Sam had a twin.
Maybe they didn't get along. So he's super into photography and the military. It looks like Calvin's really into space. Makes sense. Oh no, I'm not trying to go back in there.
And that he never talked about him.
Dude, how sick would this room have been if you were a kid?
I guess
Give
my
us a
grandpa didn't
fort?
like history any more than my mom did.
Who wouldn't want a cool fort? 1950 to 1961. So he was pretty young too, and he died.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
He's swinging. He's swinging.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
The barber died too?
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Is that a jump?
Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
Oh.
Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Goodness.
I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Oh boy.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
I thought Mythbusters debunked that you actually can't go around on a swing. They did? I thought so.
After
Hi,
the
Ego.
funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Oh, she did that. I thought that, like, they just, you know, were like, stay
Mom
on your
said Grandpa
side.
Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Mm. How did Barbara die? She died too. What? No. What is this? Ooh. made this house? Oh my gosh. Sick.
The passages were a
I
pretty
think we're in a
tight
barber's
fit.
room, maybe.
They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
We can go out there. Milton. So Milton's leaving us little drawings everywhere. Okay, I hate that. Why are you here, sir? You just got
Growing
home?
up,
You're home?
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
That is okay. Barbara. Oh, from bad weather? Well, hi, welcome home. Oh, I wonder if class is gonna be canceled. I didn't get an text yet. They made a doll of her? My friend Bigfoot. Well, she doesn't look like they're friends. She looks...
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ew, what food is that? They had to strap rockets to the dummy? Yeah, that's what I thought. When they did the swing experiment in Mythbusters. He was older when she died, but not by much. Penelope's? I guess she worked there. Opening these drawers? No. Dreadful stories.
Of all the
guest
stories
starring
people
Barbara
wrote about
Finch.
Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream.
Smeagol.
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the
So
music
he was
box.
the one.
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Really? The song?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Well, at least you have a weapon. He's clearly set this up. He's trying to scare her to get a good scream out of her. Ah! Yo. Oh, get. There we go. Practicing. So be ready. There's nothing in there.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Oh, you know, as you do. Yeah, I hope I don't get DMCA'd for this. We'll find out.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
That's what you get.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Still have our weapon. And this cool egg chair. Gonna push that out of the way. There's a skelly. There are no pictures in these frames for some reason. Hello, skelly. I guess we have to go upstairs. Yeah, are we gonna smack Walter with the... If he scares her and she just like smacks him and he falls off the railing or something. Walter, get ready! Get ready! Get ready!
Walter, are you there?
Walter, I'm gonna smack you in the
Walter
face.
vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand.
With a hook for a
Residents
hand.
are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
Oh, okay. So I guess I can fire one. Look, it has a target on it.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Oh, we're in Molly's room again. You go out the window?
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
I mean, why not?
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Okay. Well, where did Walter go? Guess we can't go that way. Should I go smack him again?
The hookman had vanished.
Oh, come
She
on.
listened for his breathing,
There's no way.
but all she heard was...
Really? I don't think he got up from that.
was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared
What?
the same night.
I don't know,
And
Eco.
little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
What?
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Okay.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So, what? She was murdered and someone cut her ear off and left it at the scene of the crime? Okay. Well then. How did we not get Sam's? Someone had
I
to have
guess
written
now
that.
I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Someone had to have written that after she died and thought it was a great idea, I guess. I wonder if Sam's is somewhere else. Well, that's sad.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Alright, I don't think I missed anything for Sam. Just look that one up. A surprise party ensues with individuals in masks, which actually turn out to be the terrorizing hoodlums. They have Barbara express her signature scream before being killed and cannibalized, leaving only her ear in the music box. They ate her? That's the implication? And they weren't caught?
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Okay, so we can go up there.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
That's on a fandom site. No idea if it's correct.
I wonder if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
I'm sure it was.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Well, could this be worse than cannibals? Pool table's still here. The music box key being real just made the comic that much worse. Yeah, it had to have been somebody that knew her well enough, so to know that, because I can't imagine that's common knowledge.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Sam comes later, I think. Okay. Is that the saw he fell on?
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
What, they keep one of the kids down here? I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Probably not.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Everything in this house is a secret passage. I wonder if the boyfriend made the comic? Maybe one of her friends? I think it was Edie who filled them in. What do you mean filled them in?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
That's great.
She said
To
after
say.
Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
As we descend into the bunker. Alvin cereal, extra crispy.
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
It's that everyone dies.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Oh, told the people about the key in the house? I mean, yeah. That could be. Walter. Okay. Well, at least he lived for a while. Not many of them seem to. I guess he traveled to get away.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
What?
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Canned peaches every day, yeah.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting.
2005, whoa.
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
Why is he down here?
I have to leave while I still can.
Oh, it's a bunk bed. I didn't realize that. I can't go past here to look over there. But I guess he just put those up like wishing he was not stuck here. Did they, like, lock him in here? She, like, lose all of her children, and so she locked him in here to protect him because all the other ones died? That's my assumption. It's assumed he was traumatized from watching what happened to Barbara and went into hiding. He was hiding under the bed. I didn't realize he saw it.
I know it's out there, somewhere.
See you, Trunks.
Whatever killed Barbara. And
You
Molly.
mean a group of people? Well, they died in very different ways.
And Calvin.
Light?
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Talked about a mole man who lived in the house. It was Walter. Oh, I was under the assumption she knew what was going on.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to
He gets hit by a
appreciate all
train.
of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Well, called it.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
The train caused the shaking, I bet. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, you're right. I was
I'm sure
assuming
my
earthquake,
mom was trying to protect me.
but there's all the little model trains here too. Yeah, I kind of assumed that she just, like, because she lost her other children, she forced him down here because she was abusing Molly. So I assumed she just abused all of her children.
Maybe
I
she
don't
was
know.
afraid I'd end up like Walter.
It's pretty fucked that when he finally is like, okay, I'm gonna try to live again and get over everything,
But
and
if
then
she
he
never
gets hit by a
told me
train.
about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Gee, I don't know. There's a lot that everyone was hiding.
I
in
don't
this
want to
family.
make the same mistakes she made.
If Edith dies in a ridiculous way at the end of this game.
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
I'm
Now that there's
assuming
only one of us left. Or maybe 2. I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
Well, yes.
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's just some things better left not known, you know? Also, I'm assuming she was named after Edie. Because, like, Edie. It's probably short for Edith. Which just kind of brings it all full circle, doesn't it? But also, if you think your family's cursed, why are you naming your kids after people? I mean, I guess Edie lived a long time. They're like, well, this one's still alive, so I guess we'll name her after this one and hope that
I don't know if I should even
she
be
also
writing
lives
this.
a long time. I wonder how Edie managed to live that long when no one else did. Is there a chair? Why are you on the tree?
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
What? Is Edith our mom and she's telling
And the
us about
history you're a part of.
and she's telling us all this fucked up shit? If so, no thank you, Mom. I don't want to go down there. No thank you, Mother. I'm good. Makes you wonder where the train came from because the tracks are destroyed in the ocean. Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know. It also makes you wonder if any of the stories are actually true or if they are embellished in some way. How far can I walk? Walk into the ocean.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Yeah, I wonder if Edie just, like, lied about all of this. I don't know. I guess I'll look in the drain and see if there's anything before we go up there. Okay. The words went in there, so I wasn't sure. Oh, it's very dark. I need a flashlight. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. Or if it matters. Guess I have to go this way.
And when you look at the house, it had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness. Any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
You gonna go up there? Maybe?
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
I read that book. Can see why. Christopher, Shadow, Oliver, Bob, Shotzi.
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Well, here's all the birds. Daisy, Lucy, Charlie, Tucker, Coco, Zoe, Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, and Derpy Jr. Oh, Edie.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Yeah, he lived for a while. Until he got crushed by the dragon. See, Edie's in quotes, so... I think her name is Edith. Walter. Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gregory? He did not live very long. Sam. And Gus. Yeah, none of them lived super long. They didn't get cool headstones, though, like the other ones. Look at that. He's got, like, a saw and space and a cat, and... these guys got a pinwheel and a flag. Just saying, I don't think they were the favorites.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Milton.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Dan J. There's Lewis.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Why? This would be pretty rough after everything. Come here by yourself. I'm just waiting for this to break.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Okay, so I think we are the baby. We are the fetus. She is writing to us about the family.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
You got a lot of medals.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
All right. Nope. Open it.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up.
A bird.
Still freezing, though.
should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be
pissing.
moving.
Are you done here?
Hey!
What a great piss shot.
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Well, at least you're not peeing anymore.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Oh. I love that he's in this one. Let's take a lovely photo of her crying over the deer.
I'm proud of you,
Memories.
Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
I'm proud of you for being traumatized. Oh, we're walking? We're walking. We're walking.
Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Can he climb up there? Oh, he has to go around.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Well?
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
I mean, I'm sure that was traumatizing for her, but that was kind of funny. You should not have tried to kill Claude. And that's how Grandpa died. Grab the handle. God, this, I can just imagine how moldy and gross this house smells. Meal ready to eat. All right.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Finch control. You forgot that Sam was the twin that survived? Yeah. Until he didn't. Gregory? That is horrifying. The mouth. He really liked Pac-Man, though. This 1-year-old. Gregory, Dawn, and Gus. This house is huge, and you put them all in one room? Divorce.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
love that they keep that divorce contract in the crib. That wasn't fucked up at all. No, I was not expecting this out of this game, I will say.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
You thought this was a sad but chill walking sim game, not this messed up? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Have a good lurk, Infant.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Just crash and everything. I can't annoy everyone. Rue. Hey.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Well.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Well.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
So I guess that was Sam kind of was strict with this itinerary. I do like that Greg's duty is to just be a baby. Emergency evacuation. Well.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Fly to India.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Am I not supposed to read the journal?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Alright, we're going up.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
And then you remembered the curse. So I guess they were homeschooled? Our family history, fact or fiction? He seems obsessed. Edie.
But it didn't last.
The curse. Like, did a project about her own family. Relief efforts end in disaster. So I don't know if that's how her dad died. Earthquake. To teach and to learn. So she wrote a book too.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Using your house as a memorial and not reusing rooms is a bit much. Yeah, and just like locking them down. if we're supposed to go up here yet.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Is there anything over here? Healthy grief.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Seems like a lot of pages for this tiny book.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
We still have Lewis, Dawn, and Edie. Unless there are sketches for Sanjay, Kay, and Ingeborg, but I doubt it. I hope I didn't miss Edie. Probably not. She's probably going to be one of the last ones.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
As you do.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
I'm wondering if we're just not going to find out if he died or lived or like what happened to him. Really? Make me go over.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Yeah, it probably stinks. No, 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 don't go back. Don't go back. No, 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 go back in there.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
We don't even get to play the Wonderland Turbo.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
I was wondering why he had blood on his hand.
He kept working at the cannery.
Poor fish.
But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Oh.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Multitasking. I'm doing it.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
Is he gonna cut his hand off? Probably.
I spoke with his boss.
Got it?
But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Well, I guess he'll follow me, okay. Couldn't interact with him. Can I go to the camp? I don't think so.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
Hello? I guess that's okay.
Then he made musicians. songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Mario.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Oh. Still going. Now I have to drive a ship.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
Okay, well that one already exists.
He started drifting away from our reality.
I hate this boat.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Okay.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Sure.
The prince was on his own quest for
rainbows.
Radiant rainbows.
Okay, well. Well, it's fine.
He followed the sound of his
silver harp. Don't like driving this boat.
Silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Let go of the fish.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Let go.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
When I say I have to like drag the mouse so far.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
I done with the fish? Oh my gosh. Nothing to get in there, I guess.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Thank you.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
You're not doing much.
I still thought I could save him.
Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. Holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh. That's a guillotine situation, isn't it? So he's gonna get his head chopped off in the fish cannery?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
wish we'd stayed.
Why?
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Stars.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Okay.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are
Edith,
very specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Think I have time to finish this? I can't imagine there's that much left.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
I never figured out who was doing the bugs.
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Rabbit.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again.
Bye.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
Do I just go forward?
But now I hope you'll never see it.
God, I hope this isn't me being born.
I just want to
don't need
meet
see
you
that.
and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Well. How did I miss Dawn and Edie in the book? Thought I did pretty well. Finish all stories. What though? Go. I believe you have to check the library peephole. Damn. What did I miss of their stories? Because I feel like I'm missing a chunk. Nothing, you got pretty much all of it. Dawn was a smoker. Oh, so that's how she died, I guess. Like, something related to smoking. I assumed Edith died in childbirth. They didn't really... give anything else, so that's my assumption. Hopefully the dad was still around to raise the kid. I kind of assumed that's the way the story was going. That she was going to end up dead by the end because everyone else was. Kat said there was another game that talks, like, goes more into, like, what happened in Milton? To be interesting. Play. It's kind of depressing. Yeah, it is depressing. I mean, it was done well, though. Like, the gameplay and stuff was really varied, considering that it was more of, like, an exploration. The replay a story option is now available. well. So I guess you can play them even though we missed them somehow. But well, we finished it. It was pretty good. The environment was really, really cool. It was a really beautiful game. And I liked the like varied gameplay. Twitch has been really fucking keeps crashing. The Milton game is a lot more abstract and vague. Oh, really? I guess that's not surprising. This game came out in 2017. Okay. Wow. It was a good time. I'm still mad that we didn't get everything, but you know, we got pretty close. I think Cat's streaming. We can go give Cat a raid. Let me just double check, make sure. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed.